me, but then hallucinations are a thing. At the company I was at the time, lots of people were saying, what can we do about hallucinations? So this presentation started off as a way to communicate within the company about how to manage hallucinations. It did start off mainly with techniques like just tell it to be honest.
Who came up with that term? I think whoever came up with the term hallucination deserves a prize, because he almost saved half the industry. Because literally, like you said, it's complicated. The thing is making shit up, right? It's literally lying.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
in a way, when they said hallucinate, he almost like, it's okay. He hallucinates a little bit. You know what I mean? It's almost like that word that almost made the industry. Because
yeah, I'd never thought about it like that, because I spend a lot of my time like a grumpy old man going, it's not hallucinating, it's discombobulated.
yeah.
But yeah, no one like hallucinate just rolls off the tongue, and you go, we'll sort that out later.
Yeah. It's like whoever came up with Copilot at Microsoft, again, deserves a prize, because it's a Copilot, and they like jumped on it to their credit. And I feel like say, look, this is really like a Copilot, right? But it's not Microsoft Copilot, it's just one of them. But they really nicely hooked on that concept, which is really what it is, right? All of these are like Copilots for you, right?
And because that was one of the big things I spoke a lot about a year ago, was everybody saying, well, it's going to replace me. I'm like, no, it doesn't replace, it just augments a human capability.
Yeah.
It's not, you cannot, I mean, look, it hallucinates. you can't trust it to do that. And so we spoke a lot about hallucinations. And for me, there's a lot of rabbit holes with hallucinations. And I think this is where I went slightly down a different avenue. I'm just checking the time. I can't see it.
We're good, man. As long as you keep going. This is my favorite topic, right? So
cool, good.
There's no
yeah, I've got no visibility on it at the moment, but yeah, I'll get back to the hallucinations thing. So we spoke a lot about it. I did a presentation with an intern as well, which we looked at things called snowballing, which is where someone did a paper on the probability that a LLM will just build on previous context, because it values the context, like as in the prompt, more than the data within itself. So if at some point it responds with a mild like untruth, shall we call it, or not quite factual, and then you validate it in a way by continuing with a response, it starts to snowball. There's a great paper about that came out probably about 10 months ago or something like that. But you know, for me, you can go down a lot of rabbit holes. And the big thing for me, I highlighted there, like personal and private data stays separate to the internals of the LLM. That's always, you know, I'm like, whatever, I'm going to put in my data, and I'm pretty confident because of this concept that the LLMs will focus on the prompt over the internal data, and the fact that you can say, only if you do not know, say do not know. If the data isn't available in the context, say it's not available. It turns that LLM into that language interpretation reasoning engine. And yeah, so I'll try and get as many silly pictures in as I can. And I think there's a bit of a secret. It's not really a secret, but security and product are really aligned, I think, or should be really aligned. I see no reason why they shouldn't be, because you've got to have faith. Now, there's just a slide to get that in, really, but CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The term in the machine learning industry, that side of things, seems to be faithfulness. So how factual is it? Is it factual? So that was just to give some context and to relate between integrity and availability, which for me means the data is true to the person that's viewing it, and availability means the data is up to date. You know, so it's not saying, hey, you've got 500 euros in your bank account, when what really happens, you had 500 euros 10 days ago, but you've since spent 400. So, and faithfulness, I think, is the machine learning version of that.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I like the term. The only thing I would say, there's a bit of it's a loaded word, right? Faith.
Yeah.
In a way, it's a bit loaded. But to be honest, if you take it to almost what is faith, like you believe in something, I think there's an interesting concept of when you use the LLMs, there's a degree of faith that you need to have, which, but I think that's because it's loaded. For some individuals, that might be great because, their personal beliefs, and for other individuals, might be a real problem, right? So, but I think the word, you have almost a faith that this is going to deliver is actually, a really great concept.
Yeah, and as you'll see, they've got all scientific on it. So this was, this just goes to show that how quick, at least from my point of view, the industry's moving. I took this from a study that Pinecone published on Monday. So this is their study of faithfulness. When you compare RAG to just non-RAG queries, so normal queries. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, and that was from a paper that was published in May 2020. And the simple concept is that if you want something from a LLM, give it the answers before, in a way. So it's a nod to the fact that LLMs are good at organizing information that you give it and interacting with you in a natural language way, and maybe don't have to be seen as a data store, which from my point of view, and I think probably from every security person that has done data segmentation and looks after data protection, it's great because the data doesn't need to be in the LLM. You can just insert it confidentially as you would into any form of application layer. Whether it's getting your bank details and calculating your balance or something like that, that will be done by an application layer. You treat the LLM as an application layer and insert the data into it. It's stateless, so it doesn't save it other than log files, etc., which is pretty standard. And then you get the response and you process the response. So for me, the retrieval augmented generation is definitely strategic. I find it very difficult to see another concept that would be strategic in terms of getting real-time data or private data into an LLM, so it can be used there. Cool. And this is one that I thought is quite relevant. If anybody in security is sort of having a chat with a data scientist, they understandably might be quite focused on, say, resolving hallucinations within the LLM. And as you can see, as you scale the size of a LLM, it does get a lot better. For me, that's hallucinations. I think you want to start using it as a term for the data that's going in and out. And I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but as I said before, you just want your data.